Hey everyone, exciting news. We've officially launched the Paranoid Perspective Patreon. If you love what we do, unpacking conspiracies, chasing mysteries, and laughing through the weirdness, now you can support the show and get more of it.
So for as little as $5 a month, you will get exclusive access and extra perks to the episode. Sarah, what do we get with Tier 1?
So Tier 1 is the Curious Minds, and you get a shout out at the end of every episode.
Next tier, this is what you guys really probably want. Ad-free episodes. We don't need those pesky ads that you guys are getting on Spotify, Apple, whatever else. You will get all episodes ad-free along with what else, Sarah?
You'll also get it ahead of time. So before the episode releases for that week, it'll be available for you to watch or listen.
So if you guys are interested, check in the show notes down below, or you can head to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Welcome back to the Paranoid Perspective. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sarah.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever the other holidays I'm ignorant because that's yeah, there you go, Hanukkah. We celebrate Christmas, so I'm sorry that I'm, fixated just on that. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. And Sarah, I don't know if you know anything else because I don't know if you celebrated any other holidays besides Christmas.
I haven't celebrated them, but I've heard of them.
Well, I've heard of them too. I'm not that fucking stupid. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know much about them, but yeah. Yeah, we do Christmas, so yeah.
So
even though we're not, whatever, but that's the American way, I guess, is mostly Christmas.
It is mostly. Well, no, I wouldn't say mostly.
The only one you get federal holiday, though.
That's true. That is true. So that's the only one that matters because that's the one the government recognizes, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding. But today we're going to do like a Christmas grab bag, sort of what we did for Thanksgiving in honor of the most festive time of year, quote unquote. I hate it. I don't like it. It's annoying.
Most magical time of year.
Yeah, I just don't really care. It's weird. But it's because I feel like there's like, you know how when we were growing up and we would go to church, it's like we'd go to church every week. And then on Christmas and Easter, it was like everybody came out of the woodwork. And it's like, guys, you're just putting on a fucking show. Like, this isn't real. Like, that's how I feel with like this time of year with
CEOs.
People. Yeah.
Christmas and Easter only.
Yeah, I know.
We were there every week, not by choice.
Not by choice. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
But we're going to start this off kind of in that realm, I suppose, would be the best way. And this is probably something that people already know about. It's Christmas that you didn't know. It is the pagan conspiracy. So different things like Yule, Sol Invictus, Saturnella, stuff like that. Let's start at the sort of the beginning, at least as far as we can think we go. Historically speaking, Jesus's actual date of birth is unknown. I think everybody pretty much knows that. Early Christian, when they were writing letters, they listed several proposed dates. So there's not like a definite, you know what I mean? And I think it'd be hard to really nail that down. I mean, there was written history, but it wasn't like archived and as well kept as, later in history. So it'd be kind of hard. And especially with like the turmoil that, he put, different religions at the time in, like they'd probably be trying to get rid of that shit anyway, even if it did exist, just to discredit it. But that being said, December 25th was already a major Roman holiday. It was the festival of Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun, established by Emperor Aurelian. It celebrated the winter solstice and the rebirth of the sun. That's typically what a lot of these cultures were doing. You're at the winter solstice. It's like, fuck yeah, we're starting a new cycle. It's going to be cold for a few more months, but it's going to be better here in, 8 weeks. We're going to be back in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're going to be good. After this, we're going to be fine. They overlaid that with another one called Saturnella, I believe. Is that how I'm pronouncing it? It was a festival for the god of Saturn, involving gift giving, feasting, gambling, decorating with greenery, the typical thing that you would think about, right?
Right. I've
And
never
then,
heard of that.
yeah, me either. I was looking into these, and I mean, I'd heard of like Yule and stuff like
Yeah.
that, the older like Norse or Germanic traditions. And this was referenced back in 18th century Icelandic, culture and writings and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. It's a winter celebration. It had decorating evergreens, feasting, sacrifices, fire rituals,
Yeah.
They believed in that there were supernatural visitors that would come during that time. There was saying that it was called the Wild Hunt, a spectral progression led by the god Odin himself.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've heard of the Wild Hunt, but I didn't know
right,
what it was exactly.
right. So here's the thing that like I think this is what happened. I think that the early Christian church kind of, I don't want to say hijacked in a bad way. I'm saying it like they used these celebrations to kind of like get people into the religion and kind of aligning it on these days. So they were taking aspects of these pagan rituals and celebrations and stuff like that and be like, well, if we want these guys to come to Jesus, we got to kind of play a little ball and compromise a little bit because killing them's not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we tried that, but yeah.
But it's almost like it's like intentionally encoded. Like there's like symbols of pre-Christian deities and rites into the Christmas that we know today, creating like a hybrid holiday with like some of these hidden meanings. For instance, like the evergreen tree. It's a symbol of eternal life in the pagan culture.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. The Yule log is representing fertility and solar worship, Mistletoe, it's sacred in Druidic rituals, harvested with golden sickles. And wreaths are originally symbols of the wheel of the year, like the kind of like the completion of it. So it's like, I don't think it was accidental by any means that a lot of these were taken. It's one of those where we had this thing we were trying to do as far as this new religion we were trying to push out to the world. Well, we have these people that, still believe in multiple gods, or maybe still even in like after the collapse of the Roman Empire, like the inklings of that culture were still like multiple gods, stuff like that were still like permeated through the other stuff. So I think that's what it was. I think the early Christian church was like, hey, let's go ahead and just say this happened on the 25th because this already aligns with a lot of their holidays. And we can just kind of be like, hey, you got a tree? We got a tree. Let's go ahead and kind of forget what you think about Odin and all this other stuff. And let's think about Jesus. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to try to make it as seamless as possible, to be like, well, you're already doing this, so just slowly move over to Christianity with.
Yeah. And you got to think too, like the people that were Christian were once pagan at one point too.
Yeah. Right.
So there was a point in time where, they were like, hey, I don't know if this is right. I'm going to try to think about this. And next thing you know, we're Christian now. And then like, I think that's, since it's such an old religion, I think that's, people think it's like, oh, there was just always Christians around. It's like, no, there weren't.
Right.
There were these times in history where you had like deliberate moves made to get more people towards that faith. So, and I think this is a big, big part of it, just aligning the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I always think that's interesting because there's a lot of symbolism that matches. There is a lot of celebration, or I guess you could call them rituals that match, stuff like that. So it's always kind of interesting. Moving forward, we have government involvement. We have some occult, and we also have some military links for Christmas.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, allegedly. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So, they track Santa Claus every year, right? NORAD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's just, for people that don't know, that's the American Aerospace Defense Command. It tracks Santa Claus on radar. It's a fun little tradition. It's nothing. What's so funny?
I mean, that can't be real. They just program it to look like, oh, he's going over. They're not tracking anything. I mean, I don't even think they're actually like, it's just like a simulation, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Does it match every year? Is it the same every year?
They started tracking Santa 1955, and this was the height of the Cold War.
Oh, okay. Santa was Russian.
Maybe. Officially, it started because of a misprint phone number in a Sears ad, supposedly. That's how it started. With that, they were going to start, it was going to be like a fun little thing they were going to put on the radio. And, during Christmas, kids would all freak out. And even today, you can still see it all over that. But there's a lot of skeptics that ask, the U.S. military has a lot of, secrecy and like false flags and like we're doing this but we're really doing this sort of thing, and part of it is like the military is watching the skies, which we all know that's true. The military uses radar to track unidentified objects, we all know that's true. And they're also trying to like program in the idea that the military is omnipotent to children, so they're like, oh yeah, they're blah 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 blah. That's what skeptics say. I don't buy that last one, but that's just kind of like where they're going with it. Some claim that this is an early soft power psyops to normalize aerial surveillance and prepare the public for increased military monitoring in the sky.
Okay.
And this was also, well, maybe, but it was also in conjunction not only with the Cold War, but also with that big uprising of UFO sightings in the 50s.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So,
but it's just the one day. I mean, is it really? But
it's the one day that they're telling everybody about it. You think that, but that's what I'm saying. If they're actually tracking quote unquote Santa Claus, they're not doing it just one day, right? It's happening all the time. There's always something being tracked. And the thing is that they think it might have been a lot of these skeptics, and this is getting way off into the woo. Okay. I promise. And I don't believe this, but they believe that this was a simple cover up for like early UFO tracking programs or early, any sort of aerial phenomenon tracking program, like, because it was way too early. They were trying to do it and they wanted to give the guys of, oh, this is fun for the kids because we're tracking Santa, but don't worry about it because if you see weird stuff in the sky, that's just what we're doing. Yeah, that was the idea. Now, I don't know how much of that I believe. I think, like you said, it's just a fucking little program they put up, or they just televise it.
There's nothing to track.
No.
So they're not even practicing to track UFOs because there's nothing to track.
Well, what if there was?
Hate to burst your bubble if you still believe, but if I know children are listening, I do put explicit.
Yeah, no fucking kids listening to this. So there you go. There's the explicit thing right there. So don't ruin it. We'll put a disclaimer at the front of this. Be like, if you're listening to this in your car and your kids are in this car, don't let them listen.
Okay. We're going to tell them it's not real.
Yeah, well, but I don't think that's the point. I think the point of it was, at least from what I gathered from it, and don't, like I said, this is like way off in left field. I'm not buying one little bit of this, but if it was something, they would try to have it in plain sight as like, this is a fun thing we can do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't know, because they were already doing stuff like that way before then. I mean, they were developing radar systems. They were doing all this stuff. And like even now, they, are monitoring everything you do anyway. So it's like, why would they have to lie to you about, we're just looking for Santa Claus? You know what I mean? When really they're tracking missiles, UFOs, adversarial aircraft, etc., whatever that may be.
Well, yeah. And they disclosed the UAP stuff in Congress, like, 3 years ago or something? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a little fun thing to be like, get your kids interested in, maybe that's the conspiracy, get them interested in surveying.
Make them okay with it.
Right, yeah, because we're watching Santa.
Yeah.
That's
Or maybe what's the Christmas Carol? He knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake.
Yeah.
There you go.
Scary.
They're already conditioning it to where you're just conditioned to be okay with it.
I mean, that's an old song too. When was that? Or was that around the same time?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I honestly don't know. But
he knows when you're awake.
And he knows if you've been bad or good. So here's a social credit score to keep you in check. I'm just kidding. So
that's the future.
Maybe. So with the occult, and I don't really like this because I kind of lumped this in, but it is, I guess, technically Odin, shamanism, Siberian magic. Some researchers point out that Santa Claus mirrors Odin. Odin rode an 8-legged horse, flying horse, delivered gifts, was associated with the wild hunt, spied on people through magical ravens, entered homes through their, like, what is this, hearth?
Hearths. Yeah.
Hearths,
That's like
yeah.
the chimney area.
Right. It's yeah. So it's one of those where, once again, I think this is just when they say occult, I think it's kind of harps back to what we talked to at the beginning. They are borrowing ideas from these pagan religions to, bring it in. But if you look eastward towards like the Siberian, there's a Siberian shamanism. This person wore a red robe and had an iconic red and white mushroom that he brought to villagers during the winter solstice ceremony.
Okay. A mushroom?
Well, I'm assuming some sort of psychedelic,
like
you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, that's what it was. But once again, is candy cane red and white to represent those psychedelic mushrooms that he was giving to those. Right. But like I said, the gentleman wore red and white, traveled with reindeer, didn't say on reindeer, but just with reindeer. And then also entered homes through the roof.
Is he entering the homes through the roof?
I'm assuming that's like a loose translation of chimney. Because there, regardless of where you were living, you had some sort of ventilation for the fire that you had. So that's what I think when they say he entered through the roof, being that like weird Russian Eurasia translation for all those different languages, I think that's just where they got roof from. And he also delivered gifts that included spiritual visions. So that was thanks to the magic mushrooms, of course, I'm sure.
Right. I would like that. I would like the vision without the mushrooms.
No, you can't have it both ways.
Well, it's based on my dream. He infiltrates my dreams.
Could. But it's kind of funny because, like we said, Santa is just the repackaged quote unquote shaman mushroom guy that is stripped of the psychedelic element. By the Christian
candy
church
instead.
Right. And it's funny because a lot of this was also commercialized by, guess the company, Sara, close. What company that makes a drink sensationalized Christmas? Our father drinks them all the time.
Coke?
Coca-Cola.
That's that old? Was Coke like the first commercialized?
Well, I don't know if it was the first, but they definitely they went all in and have been going all in on Christmas.
And they're red and white.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that why they picked red and white? So they could cannibalize Christmas?
It very well could be.
To be commercial.
It very well could be. The next one we have for more of like the military side of it, and this kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, it's almost like a surveillance tool. He sees you when you're sleeping, retracts back to St. Nicholas's lore in Europe, where the saint judged children would be viewed for their misdeeds. Odin also observed human behavior, like we talked about through crows. 19th century morality tales, which use surveillance to control children, but some modern theorists suggest that the Santa myth is now unintentionally trains kids for data surveillance. We kind of already harped on this a little bit. And it's like a reward punishment system based on behavior.
Right. But no one actually really follows through with that.
No, and if we're being honest,
actually give their children coal.
No, but if we were being real about this, like there's actually no like evidence that supports any like internal plot by the U.S. government to use Santa to surveil us. They're just fucking doing it anyway. I mean, if we're being real,
they're doing it anyway every single day. They're doing it, and like they're teaching you in schools to obey already. Like they don't need one day to do it.
No,
they're doing it all the other days.
I will say that it is a higher incentive, like the reward based system for that time of year for sure. But I don't think it's like you said, it's happening daily. So it's not like, oh, we got to wait till the 25th to really just stick it to them here and whatever. No, it's wild.
The song, I looked it up, for Santa Claus Coming to Town, where he watches you, is 1934.
Okay.
So even earlier than the other.
Well,
that just paved the way.
Been surveilling you for that long.
Right. Well, that's what the government does.
Yeah.
We just have more technology now. Do you think Santa will become a drone?
I wouldn't put it past them. That would be like get to the point here in a couple of years where like, drone delivery is like a really big thing. Why?
Right. Why not dress them up like a Santa's sleigh for that time of year?
Yeah.
It's going to be Amazon.
I was about to say, fucking Fucking Bezos already got the plan in the works, probably.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's going to happen. That is definitely going to happen. We are going to have fucking drones buzzing around all over the fucking place. It's going to be annoying as shit. And they're going to drop stuff off at your door.
Fly.
Right.
It's going to take up all the airspace.
Yep. But speaking of like weird, wild shit, have you ever heard of the battle for the North Pole?
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Man, I was expecting you not to.
I hear everything. No, not everything, but I've spent a lot of time on the internet in college instead of studying.
Cool. So you know about this then?
Well, I know bits of it.
Okay.
I've definitely heard of it.
Well, this is based off of the Hollow Earth theory, you know, and it has a Christmas connection, so to speak. Listeners, full disclosure, I don't believe a fucking second of this, so I'm going to I added this in for the people that do, but I'm telling you right now, if you believe the earth is hollow, you're fucking stupid. That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it.
I still need to do that one, I guess.
You do. Sarah, I don't know if I can do it. I truly don't. You might have to take the lead on that one.
All right. Okay. I'll do it.
But the hollow earth theory is popular among, fringe writers like John Clemens Symes Jr. And that was in like the 1800s or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like that was like super far back. And it proposes that there are places, entrances to the subterranean world at the poles, Some people believe the North Pole is a restricted zone guarded by international treaties, off limit to civilian aircraft, hosts, weird magnetic anomalies. Here's the thing. The reason why it's so hard to get to the fucking North Pole is because there's not a fucking landmass up there.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like, there's nowhere to go.
Like, there's not yes, there's ice and like ice caps that you could technically get on, but there's not like a physical landmass there. And the weather at both ends of the poles is extremely problematic to try to navigate or fly through. Like, it's so hard to get up there, and there's nothing there to live off of either. So even if you do make it up there, what are you doing?
Right.
Anyway, but because of this, some argue that the quote unquote North Pole base where Santa lives is in reference to a hidden, inaccessible region connected to a lost civilization. And it's often linked to Norse mythology, Inuit folklore, and there was one, I do want to do this one at some point, Admiral Byrd's controversial Operation High Jump Diaries. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Man, it's wild. It's fucking wild. But the idea is that there are subterranean beings or advanced races living in there.
Yeah. Is that Santa's elves?
Possibly. That's maybe where they come from. Maybe that's what it is. We just have fucking 3-foot little, and who knows? Maybe that could be like the gray aliens that we're seeing. They're small, little, tiny. I don't believe it, but
just give them a pointy hat.
There you go.
They're Santa's elves.
That's what I'm saying. Give them little bells on their feet. They're good to go.
Yeah.
But there have been multiple stories, like that Admiral Byrd one, where supposedly fighting has happened there in the sort of South Pole as well. Everything from wild things like UFOs and fighter jets fighting each other to us shooting them down, them shooting us down. Yeah. It's not, there's not much to it.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, I could see Antarctica because there's land actually.
Sure.
That makes the North Pole.
That's a little bit more, makes more sense because there is a fucking continent there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, to continue on with the military, there are things like classified flights and something called Operation Christmas Drop. Now, this is a real annual U.S. Air Force operation that began in 1952. It's a humanitarian mission where aircraft will drop supplies to Micronesian islands, various different places. Here's the conspiracy, though. These these drops are actually tests for like testing our low altitude aerial delivery systems, or to like back in the day when they first started this was like Cold War logistics, like trying to get stuff on that side of the world where we could resupply really easily if we had to. And then mapping like different islands out in these island chains for like more clandestine uses and stuff like that. So
that makes sense.
It would 100% makes sense why they were doing that, especially in the early 50s. You know, they have it under the guise of, oh, we're just being, awesome, nice people and dropping gifts to, different people in that side of the world. But really what we're doing is we're mapping everything out and we're testing some new parachutes and, when we're dropping, presents and gifts, there also might be a few things that our military might want to use later on down the line.
Right.
So,
yep. Well, yep. Best way to get in is by giving a gift.
Yeah,
Get invited in.
Yeah. Now everybody loves you. And we need those guns back now.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, now we have emergencies. But we'll keep you safe too. That's what we do. Don't worry.
Don't worry. We will take care of you. Just like the Taliban when they were fighting the Russians. We got your back. Don't worry about 30 years from now. We got your back right now. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny to me because I do like that last one because there are a lot of operations, I'm sure, that were under the guise of something completely different that actually had something way different as far as the motive goes. I mean, that's just makes the most sense. We're going to do it in plain sight. We're going to say it's this and we're going to dress it up as this, but it's really actually something crazy. But you did an episode on this next one on your last podcast, Sarah.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
It was pretty short. I haven't had a chance to listen to this, but
you probably don't need to. You probably know. This will probably cover more than I talked about.
I don't know. I don't have a whole lot for it, so it might be about the same.
Probably the same, yeah.
But listeners, the darker side of Christmas, we have Krampus.
Yeah, Krampusmas.
Krampusness. Now, this is, pretty well documented in like the Alpine regions as early as like the 16th century. It was a horned demonic creature that would punish the bad children, According to cultural historians, the church repeatedly tried to ban Christmas or Krampus parades, calling them satanic, which I can get because if you see a picture of fucking Krampus, you're like, oh shit. Like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Did Krampus work with Santa?
That's supposedly what I don't know. It's so hard because with the stuff that you've seen in the past, probably 10, 15 years for pop culture, like movies being made, stuff like that. Like, yeah, I think if I went back far enough, I could probably find a little bit more to it. But it was one of those where I think it's almost like now it's become more of just a joke.
Yeah.
More than anything. Especially with the movies that have come out with it. Like, it's just ridiculous. That being said, though, I can totally get, like before that song came out, Santa Claus is coming to town. What better way to get children to be like, hey, do your fucking chores and do your work around the farm, or else this fucking horned, hoofed, demonic fucking anti-Santa is going to come fucking get you.
Yeah, put you in a sack.
Yeah, and
we'll never see you again.
Never see you again.
Right.
But some people believe the figure was absorbed into Christmas as more of a warning or a tool for the control that we kind of talked about of the children. It wasn't like, I don't think it was ever like a real thing.
I don't know.
It could be.
Like those, what's that Nordic, like horned thing that's in there was a movie about that too. That was really scary, actually. I don't remember what it's called. Because it was like those giant, like, I mean, obviously it's not like a Wendigo here is, but similar idea, that. I feel like.
It is.
I already did.
Well, it's funny.
Word.
Speaking of the Wendigo, I was driving my daughter home from school, and we always go to Smoky Mountains once a year now. That was the first thing she told me. She's like, hey, we're getting ready to go back there. We can't say the W word. I was like,
don't say it there. I mean, if you do say it in the area, there is supposedly consequences, I guess. Or just ignore any sounds you hear at night.
That's true. That is true.
Definitely do that.
This is a good episode, Sarah. We're getting a lot of ideas for new upcoming episodes. So you guys get to look forward to that in 2026. We're just taking notes here. No, but I honestly think that the idea of Krampus was just the extreme version of Santa Claus has come to town. Like that's what the story that was told. And don't get me wrong though, I'm trying to put it in the perspective of living in a small rural village back then as well. Like, dude, if a fucking wolf came or a bear
Yeah.
or
Right.
like any predator in the middle of the night and just like snatched you up and you were never seen again,
No.
I could definitely see why people would freak out.
That's not because you're being bad.
Maybe it was though.
Or unless they just like, you're being bad, you gotta go to the woods at night. Get out of this house. You're not allowed in here.
Or
And then
it
they
could have,
die.
well, you got to think though, like it's that whole like God of the Gaps scenario, right? If we can't explain it, it's got to be something evil or it was God.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So back
true.
then, it's like if somebody just disappeared, it's like, well, what happened to him? Oh shit, it's fucking December. Krampus got him. They must have been a bad motherfucker and done the right thing. You know, it's just easier to
Yeah.
explain at that point, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah. Because there's lots of things that will kill you out there.
Yeah, but I don't know, a major deity or demon called Krampus, you know, and then I think it's just been kind of downscaled into just more of folklore sort of
Yeah.
here in the past, probably century. So, I don't
Yeah.
know.
People definitely don't take it very seriously anymore. That's for sure.
I would hope not, but you never know.
I don't know. There might be some fanatics out there. Some
Maybe.
Krampus fans.
Well, there is another one called the Black Cube Theory, and this kind of goes back to more of that Saturnella, I think is how you're pronouncing
Yeah.
it, tradition. And this is very esoteric when it comes to the researchers that do this. They tie this to, you know, the symbolism with that Saturnella festival. And once again, this is for the god of Saturn back in the Greek and Roman cultures and whatnot. Or Roman, I guess, because that was after Greek. The black cube often is associated with like it's like an imagery they use for that like sort of festival or whatever. The claim is that Christmas subtly preserved the Saturn worship through the date, the colors, which most of these cubes were red, black, gold, etc. You always had this feast element along with these cubes being everywhere. And once again, the evergreen tree was sometimes engraved on these cubes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and when it was on the cube, it was supposedly associated with death, rebirth, and new beginnings, stuff like that.
Right.
So exactly what's happening. Once again, it's pretty speculative because I think it was just a nice, like, they probably were finding obsidian or something like that to make it look really nice, or marble, and like polishing it up and making them look nice and then carving intricate designs into them because it looked nice.
Right. Yeah.
know.
Just have cubes everywhere, I guess.
And I mean, they were ceremonial, so they were
Yeah.
for that festival honoring the god of Saturn. And I just think
Right.
it's one of those, like, it correlates because the Christians were trying to incorporate them into that sort
Right.
of thing. So I don't know. I don't really put a whole lot of mind to it. I think they just had nice things and they wanted to put nice stuff out. But
Right.
we do have some corporate conspiracies, and we talked about Coca-Cola earlier. And Coca-Cola definitely didn't invent Santa, for sure. But they sure as fuck reinforced the shit out of them, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's kind of like a Coca-Cola Santa. I feel like they kind of
Yep.
branded it to look like.
Yep. And that was all thanks to this guy named Thomas Nast. His illustrations in the 60s and 80s, Coca-Cola's advertising campaigns all the way up to the 90s and all the way onward. Like, that is the
Oh, wow.
quintessential Santa that you see, the drawing. Some conspiracy theorists argue that the corporations intentionally, get this, reshape Christmas into a consumerist holiday forced on buying, gifting, spending, trying to build brand loyalty. Like,
Well.
no fucking shit they do.
Yeah.
And
That's not a conspiracy, really.
that's not a conspiracy. But what I do think is funny is there is something, like, you can't go anywhere without seeing that Coca-Cola Santa with a Coke in his hand either.
Mhm.
Like, it is brilliant marketing on Coke's part. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and
it
then
is.
on top of that, with all of the advertisements they do this time of year, you're gonna see them even if you watch stuff on YouTube, you might see a Coca-Cola commercial with
Right.
Santa drinking his fucking glass bottle Coke, and or you're going to see the damn polar bears that are all nice and lovable. Bears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Yeah, the polar bears.
Well, if I say something like Christmas Coca-Cola, you already can see it in your head. You can already see it in your head what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's one of those things where Coca-Cola is like a huge conglomerate, not just of Coca-Cola, but of multiple different things that they have bought up and they are part of and they've got their hands in. So it would make sense if they're going to market themselves, they're going to market it out and they're going to do a lot of weird, wild stuff to get people to buy the shit that they're fucking involved in. It's not rocket science or anything. I thought that was kind of funny because I saw this huge, and I'm talking massive paragraph after paragraph after paragraph about how Coca-Cola and Christmas they're like the most nefarious company ever this time of year. And I was like, okay, I got about halfway through this and I'm like, this is a bunch of bullshit.
I don't know about that. I mean, no. They're all participating. They're all shoving this stuff. Some of it's crap. It's all coming out before Thanksgiving too. Like every single place is doing this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just Coca-Cola, but
it's not anything new. It's the same. It's the same thing. And there is something that a lot of people, I saw this a lot this last little bit of the war on Christmas. And this is kind of like more of what I've seen here in the recent years of more of a political commentator thing, more than a conspiracy theory. But that being said, in 17th century, the Puritans banned Christmas in England and America. A lot of it was that, right. You know, it was one of those, like, first of all, let's put a little caveat on this. The Puritans were fucking insane and like hardcore, right. You know, and that's why they left Europe to come here. Like that's the thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around is like everybody at that time, you hear about it and you think everybody is super Christian. These guys were like fucking Superman, super Christian. Right. Like they didn't play any shit with anything. Like it was either all for God or all for naught. And they did not enjoy like the gluttonous side or the like overzealous side or stuff like that of Christmas. So they were just like, nope, not doing it. There was also anti-Christmas movements during the French Revolution. Crazy. It's like, you know, a lot of people were fucking, you know, dying and getting killed and political bullshit was happening. Kind of makes sense as to why they probably were like, hey, we need to stop this for right now. We need to really focus on what we got. And then a lot more like secular states, i.e. the Soviet Union. They don't have any religious holidays. You know, it's
okay.
Well,
yeah.
And I would assume, I don't know this for sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume states like North Korea probably don't have any like really religious holidays because it's more about the control of the people than it is, you know, having stuff like that. So I don't know. The whole like war on Christmas, I hate that because it's like whenever I hear it from an American perspective, it's like, I feel like I'm listening to Alex Jones again. It's just like we're screaming about something that doesn't really exist.
Not allowed to say Merry Christmas. It's like, yeah, you can. No one cares.
No one fucking gives a shit.
Yeah, I don't care if you say Merry Christmas to me. Like, but they care if you say Happy Holidays back. I don't know. It's just, we should be able to say any of it. Say Happy Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to start responding with Wild Hunt.
Happy Hunt.
Yeah. Or Happy Yule, just to really piss people off.
I have thought of that. Happy Yule miss.
Yeah. Or Merry Krampus. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this motherfucker out of the woodwork and he's going to put you in his bag and take you away, you stupid son of a bitch. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Krampus is going to become like Mothman, where everyone's like, oh, Mothman. They're going to be like that, like we're Krampus.
Man, no, I don't know. It's all, see, that's what I was talking about at the beginning, where it's like, I feel like there's like this fake niceness that's always happening this time of year. And I think that's what pisses me off about this time of year more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're still a piece of shit. You're just acting like you're not, you know?
Yeah. You're just giving me a card
Yeah.
But I
Like,
still don't like you. Like, I don't care.
well, and you know, you don't work for like a major corporation. I work for a super major corporation
Yeah.
right now. And it's it's all I've seen this year is like, oh, don't forget, we got stuff at the front for you guys to make sure Merry Christmas. Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. You guys don't give a shit. You
Yeah.
just, this is all the stuff that you can't sell.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't mean
Right.
anything. That's what, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's like my company, once COVID happened, because we used to have a holiday party during work day. So you would go for like a buffet lunch and then they'd
Mm-hmm.
give you a gift card as like a little Christmas bonus. It wasn't like our actual bonus, but just like oh, here for Christmas right before or whatever. And then COVID happened. We didn't have that anymore. And I guess they lost our addresses. We've never gotten it again. Like, hello, you could mail it out.
See, that's
They
what I'm
just
talking.
totally got rid of it.
Yeah. That's what I am talking about. I just don't,
Yeah.
I don't appreciate the false, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
like we really care about you, but only this week.
yeah, only this week. And we're going to slowly ramp it up throughout the month. You know,
Yeah.
the first week, we're not really going to say shit to you. Second week, we're going to be like, oh, hey, like I got a thing of fucking cheese balls because they couldn't sell them anymore. Thanks.
Okay. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Make sure you
Right.
grab one on the way out. Okay.
Yeah. This is
Anyway.
your bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Now-
like out of touch. for
That's
sure.
all it is. It's just not, it's not real.
Yeah.
So I guess moral of that story, listeners, just be a nice person all year round and then Christmas will be that much better. It's crazy how that works. But
Yeah.
I do have one really strange one.
Okay.
And this is
What?
the temporal anomaly theory. Christmas is a time loop that happens. And we kind of talked about this when we were at when we were at Holiday World, how, you know, everybody talks about how time stands still during this time of year and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. Now, it starts with the idea, once again, during the solstice. A lot of cultures, you know, worldwide described the quote unquote thinning of the veil. Not exactly those words, but like spiritual times, because you're closer.
Mhm.
Return of astral spirits, time standing still, and cosmic reset. So anthropologists chalk this up just to symbolism. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, well, this is just because they were starting that new year, stuff was about to start growing again, and business was going to get back to usual after the winter
Right.
time was over. Now, there are other people, fringe thinkers. I'm not going to call them what I think they are, but fringe thinkers, I guess, is the most respectful way to say.
Yeah, that's a good word.
They argue the solstice celebrations exist because humans recognize a natural temporal anomaly, a weak spot in time itself. And these traditions, you know, it's kind of like, since we repeat these every year, we get together and we retell the same stories, and we talk about the spirit of Christmas, not only in the past, but the present and also the future. And it's almost like we're kind of obsessed with nostalgia about that time of year. Like when you were a kid, you know, you always
Yeah.
remember waking up and being excited for it. And any sort of like resetting of like any grievances or anything, like if you're getting together with your family, like you're kind of putting aside a lot of those. And the idea that, once again, time feels like it's suspended in certain aspects of those. And I think it's because we have to have something as human beings that like stabilize our experience of living. And it has to happen fairly often. And once a year is like
Yeah.
the perfect way to do it. I don't think it was like there's a reason why every culture in the world had some sort of celebration of coming together during the dark time, cold time, winter time. You know what I mean? Because it's a rough fucking time to be alive, especially if you're living out in the middle of nowhere in a fucking shack.
Yeah. Yeah, you need something to look
Yeah.
forward to and to like mark. Like you said, that's the darkest day of the year. So then it's like, okay, after this, it's going to get better.
Yeah. So I honestly think that it's one of those holidays that kind of keeps us anchored and grounded and resets us. And because right following that, you know, we're hitting New Year's and everybody's making New Year's resolutions. Everybody's doing something better for at least a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? We're going to the gym, or we're eating a little better, or we're doing something, you know what I mean? There's
and
some
to
sort of
reflect
change
on the year. And
Yeah. And honestly, I think without something like this, human beings like living like in cultures, there would be a lot of like frayed civilizations that happened if you didn't have something like this to kind of pull everybody together once a year to celebrate, eat, drink, and be merry. You know, that's just my theory on it. That like, I don't like the idea of like the time loop, whatever. Like, I think it's just like a natural cycle that we have to have as human beings to make it work. So,
yeah, I agree. Also, like, I mean, if it feels slower or anything, or like faster leading up to it and stuff, it's because we're so busy.
right.
At least now in modern time, like most people do get off Christmas and Christmas Eve. So then you're finally just, you don't have any work to do. You don't have anything to think about. You're with your family. You can just relax. But like leading up to that, they always try to push these projects through and everything. So you're super busy and then getting presents, just all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why it feels slower.
Yeah. The 4 weeks that happens prior to Christmas itself, especially like you said, working that 9 to 5, they're pushing everything they can at you.
Right.
For that 1-2 days that the company is going to be closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to finish up the year, I guess. Yeah.
That too. I don't know. My big thing, don't be an asshole. Enjoy your holiday, whatever it is you're celebrating, and celebrate like that all the time. Be a nice person all the time. You don't need to be a jerk just because you're having a bad day or whatever. And you don't need to be nice and fake it just because it's fucking Christmas or the holiday season. Just be nice all the time. It's crazy. It's a good thing to try to practice, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what I got for our little, I guess, Christmas grab bag edition.
Yeah. There were some things I hadn't really heard about. I'll have to look into that Saturn-ness, whatever else.
Saturnness, yes. Saturnella.
Yeah. Saturnella, yeah. Like Saturnella.
Saturnella. Yeah, it's like...
Isn't that like a chemical?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I cannot put my finger on what it's actually called.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know.
Just thought of it, but yeah. It was good. This was interesting.
Centronella.
Oh, Centronella, yeah.
There you go. Thank you. I was about to...
Get rid of mosquitoes.
Yeah. It gets rid of mosquitoes and other flying pests, you know? There you go. Hey, Centronella, if you want to sponsor the podcast, go ahead and send us an email, and we'll get that going.
Have a festival.
We will. We'll have the most festival. I'll actually fucking burn one in the goddamn room I'm in right now every time and just be like, oh, thanks to my wonderful Centronella candle, I do not have mosquitoes in my bonus room of my house.
Oh, right. Yeah. You might need to crack a window.
Let them in? Yeah. Just to show how well it works?
Right.
Yeah. That's a good marketing right there. Make myself uncomfortable and get the product that'll work. Anyway, I don't know. But listeners, hope you guys have a happy holiday, whatever that holiday is that you celebrate. Hope you have fun with your families. Hope you have safe travels wherever you are going to. If you guys want to check out any of the extra stuff that we have, all that will be linked down below, to include our Patreon, the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Patreon.com/The Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Got some extra good stuff over there. If you want to help support the show, the easiest and free way is to share the show with a friend. Let them know what you think about it. Write us a review or a rating on whatever you're listening to this, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Check out Speaker if you really want to help us out and stream that thing over there. Goes a long way. But like I said, hope you guys have a fantastic holiday time, and we'll check you guys on the next episode. And as always,
remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. See you next time on The Paranoid Perspective.